Hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you.
So formal today.
Yeah, whatever, you butthole. Hi, I'm Erin.
I'm Nicole.
This is Dude That's Fucked Up. This is a podcast about things that are fucked up, I guess.
And buttholes.
And buttholes. Yeah, we talk about that quite a bit. Yeah, so welcome, peeps. Hope everybody's doing good. Your week's going well. Let's see what's going on in the world.
Well, the biz. I want to hear about the panel.
Oh, yeah. Last week I was on a podcast panel. It was really cool. It was for so my friend Leah does events for a neighborhood business development organization. And one of the cool neighborhoods in DC is Noma. And so for the Noma bid, which is like business development situation, they do like these cool events. And one of the big ones they do is called Nerds in Noma. And so it's like it could be about anything, but this discussion was about podcasting and like how to get started, and like so it was me, a guy who does a podcast for a local like publication, like newspaper publication in the area called the Washington City Paper. Yeah. He was really cool. And then two women who do a podcast called the Black Joy Mixtape. And they were so funny. Everybody was great. And then the host, or like the moderator, I should say, was Lauren Ober, who does The Big Listen on NPR. So,
Oh my God.
it was like very profesh. And I definitely felt like out of my league, like initially. But then, like, you know, as like we got going, it was like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
like we've been doing this for a year, and like we know our shit. And so it was super cool. So to be able to be included with like, and like they all have like background in like communications or like journalism. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like a person who like wanted to talk to my best friend. And like, I think a lot of people do like that were there were like wanting to know, like, can I just do this thing? I like don't have a background in, you know, I didn't intern for NPR. I didn't work at a company that, I don't know, like a communications company. I don't know. So there was like a lot of people that were there that were just like, how do you even do this? So
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your friend Maggie, who is also in the she's a listener and she's like in the group and stuff. She live streamed a little bit to the page, or like, recorded a video. That was cool. And I was like, oh my God, she's doing so good. You were getting laughs and like, you just looked comfortable.
I was very nervous. I was not that comfortable, but I'm glad that it looked like I was.
Yeah, it did.
Also, I was physically uncomfortable because like the chairs were like high.
Yeah,
you know,
like
they're like
stools,
higher
kinda.
stools.
Yeah.
And like I was still wearing like non-maternity pants.
So they were like
last
cutting.
week. Yeah, so I was like, ugh. So yeah, but no, it was great. It was a good time, and I'm really grateful to my friend Leah for including me in that, and everybody that was on the panel. If you guys want to listen to either one of the other podcasts podcasters that I was with, the Black Joy Mixtape is great. It's so wonderful. They talk about a lot of like policy, but it's like also they're just like two best friends like bantering back and forth, and it's like from the perspective of like two women of color, but it's like also very loose too. So it's good. But they know what the fuck they're talking about because they have like a background in policy and politics and stuff. So it's pretty great.
That's awesome.
And then and then the other one was Washington City Paper podcast. I think it's just like that's when you search for it, that's what it is. So if you want to know what's going on locally in Washington D.C., that's a good way to learn about it. But if you don't, then it's pretty DC specific. So
okay,
but
cool. That sounds good.
It was awesome. So yeah. That's kind of all the business, I think, though. thanks to Maggie for being there. DJ was there. A couple other friends came. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah. It looked like I feel like maybe I saw a different video that someone posted, and it was like it showed the whole room, and maybe it like came from the Noma handle, and it was like it showed the room, and there was like people standing, like there wasn't even enough seats for everyone. So
no, it was a lot of people.
So like we're a big time deal now. But basically, it's like what I'm saying.
I don't know if I was the main draw, but you know.
But like people are like interested now, and obviously like we're big on the DC scene, and just things are happening. So
yeah, it was really
get
cool.
ready, everyone.
It was so weird. Like after like everything was over, like people were coming up to me asking me questions. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
and it was so cool. And I don't know. I hope that people who went, or I don't know, even if you're like, if you didn't go and you're like thinking about starting a podcast, you could totally do it. Just Google all that shit.
You know, like how they say dress for the job you want? It's kind of like, just like be the person you want people to think you are. Like, yeah, you're an expert, and just be that person. And then people will be like, wow, so I have so many questions for you. And you're like, wait, what? Oh, yes, go on. I'm an expert. Because you are.
Semi-expert.
Semi-expert, yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Let's see, anything else? We have t-shirts and stickers on our website, dtfupodcast.com.
Okay, so we have the Patreon. We have a few different levels. We're going to change things up a little bit. We were running into some issues with, the commentary video, because we were using like licensed content.
That's one of the levels is like we were doing like a like Mystery Science 3000 kind of like concept where we're just like making fun of like different videos and stuff. And it was like this video has been removed for copyright violation. Yeah. So we had to like replace that with something. So we're switching up some levels. So if you are a patron or have checked out the Patreon and want to know more, we'll have some updates on that soon.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Anything else?
No.
I think that's all the business. Anything fucked up for you this week?
Yes. Well, I got braces. If you can't hear it, I'm like talking a little.
Nicole has braces now.
I have braces. And it's really hard for me to get my lips around my braces on my teeth, and it's very hard for me to talk like a human. No, but it is really hard.
It takes a lot of getting used to. It's like when you got them when you're a kid, it's like you just kind of got used to them. It's because like everybody had them. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had them in elementary school, which that one, I feel like when I had them then, not many kids had them, but I only had 2, and then I had 4. It was like very minimal.
Yeah, just like to get you prepped for the big show.
To move like some teeth in and like, make some space. And then I had them in middle school when everybody else had them. Like you had them then. And then I was like, oh, like I got them removed right before high school. Like first day of high school, freshman year, I was done.
I got my braces taken off, and I got contacts instead of my ugly ass glasses. It was a real
transformation.
Real transformation. I was still awkward as fuck, but you know.
I was cuter than I thought I was back then, looking back, but also very awkward.
You were very adorable.
Oh, thank you. I think I talked about this last week, but I'm definitely wearing my mom's clothes in my freshman year photo. I borrowed her sweater. It was like a brown sweater. I was like, ooh, I want to wear this. And now I'm like, why was I wearing my mom's clothes?
So adult. Trying to be adult.
What an idiot. So I thought I was like super lucky. Like, oh yeah, braces. I had them early. Just going to be perfect from now on. And then now I have braces again, which whatever. It gives me an edge. Maybe people will remember me as the girl with the braces instead of the girl that talks about buttholes. So
maybe, yeah.
Is that both. An up or down or both?
You know that girl that was like saying stuff about buttholes, and she had braces too. I will never forget her.
Yeah.
Made such an impression.
Oh, yeah. She had a hard time saying buttholes, actually, because of the braces. Saying buttholes.
Buttholes. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you look great. You just,
you
know,
yeah.
I know it'll take a minute to get adjusted to having them, but
yeah.
Like, because they scrape your mouth up. Like, you have to form a callus on the inside of your mouth, basically.
Dude, my mouth is real scrapey. In lots of different places. Like, on my tongue from the bands in the back.
Yeah.
That are, like, sharp.
Because they wrap around, like, your whole tooth.
Yeah. And there's just, some weird shit going on. So, it's all blistery, and I have to put wax on them.
Oh, memories, man.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my fucked up thing. No, nothing huge. What's yours for the week?
Nothing crazy. I just, well, now that all the like Oscar nominated and winning movies are coming out, like to be able to rent, DJ and I have been watching a lot of them. So like we watched like Darkest Hour, meh. We watched, like I saw I, Tonya in theaters, which is fabulous. Love that movie. Get Out was great. That's like one of my favorite movies of last year. So one of the movies that I've been really excited to see is Shape of Water, and like it just won Best Picture. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this. Like the whole concept is like super fun, interesting, whatever. It is. I don't get it. I get it. I liked it in some ways, but like I cannot believe it won Best Picture.
Yeah, I was talking to Pete about this, like right after the Oscars, and he was like, that movie is probably the most, like, cinematic and like, or maybe it was someone else, but it's like a tribute to movies in a way.
It is.
It's very like old school.
Exactly.
It's weird.
And that's what I hated about it, is because it was like, because it's Oscar porn. You know what I mean? It's like, so it has this like very whimsical like concept, which Guillermo del Toro is like wonderful, but like, the whole like I don't know, like there is the parts of it that I loved were Michael Shannon. I love Michael Shannon.
Oh my God,
I'll watch
A+ performance. Like he was frightening.
Oh my God, he's terrifying. Like there's like all these like pieces of like and like just bits and pieces of it that I liked, but like as a sum whole, it was just like very contrived, and it was very disappointing, I think. And then there was like all these like little storylines that like didn't really resolve or were not even really meaningful. Like it was like half-baked character development in a way. So it felt like it was like heavily edited or something.
But okay, here's the one thing you're not talking about, which everyone else talks about: the whole fish bang thing.
The fish fucking?
Yeah. What was your take on that? Were you like, that part didn't bother you? Or like...
well, like, I was ready for it, so it was like, I don't know. It like made me feel desperately uncomfortable, though, still. Like, it was just like when they were like, like, they were talking about how his dick works and stuff, I was just like,
yeah.
All right.
The little sign language for that is delightful, though.
Yeah. There's so many parts of it that are very delightful. But then it's just like none of it like coalesced for me in a way. And then there's a scene that is like her imagining being like on like a I don't know, like I don't
variety
know
show.
Yeah, like something like that, where she's like singing this like beautiful like ballad, and it's like it's so bad. Like I just was like, it just took me out of the whole movie completely. Like the whole concept of it is very sweet, and but I don't know. Yeah. It just, I can't. I have a shitty opinion. Probably people are probably like, what is she talking about? But
of The Shape of Water, no, I don't think most people didn't like that. I'm pretty sure.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just that I don't, in the context of it, maybe if I would have seen it before the Oscars, I would have like had a better opinion of it. But because it won Best Picture, I had like this like expectation of it being like something phenomenal and different. And it wasn't that like, I don't know.
Well, I thought it was fine. And then it won Best Picture and I was like, why? So I still have the same opinion. So it's not. Yeah. It's not a Best Picture.
Yeah.
We're not going to remember that movie. Like, okay, I know we're like spending time on this, but we can edit it out. But just one more thought. When you look back and you're like, oh, like best picture of the year, this movie, like fucking Titanic or some shit. Everyone remembers that movie still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's going to look back, even in 5 years, no one's going to look back and be like, The Shape of Water. Right?
I don't know. I think because it's like the only reason I think it won is because it's like weird because it's like borderline bestiality. Like it's like you know,
it's like ooh, this is scandalous.
It's like whimsical while also being
edgy.
very edgy.
Yeah. And I think also
talking about a fish's dick, like
and that girl masturbates a lot. Good for her. I also think Guillermo del Toro is like the darling of the movie industry right now. Like, and so maybe people were like, I feel like everyone was cool with him winning because they liked him, and he's like an immigrant, and he's very like, you know, like positive about diversity and all these things, and he has no like allegations against him. Which is
no, he totally does.
He does.
Not like any sexual like shit, but like they're getting sued for that, the whole premise of the movie not being original.
Oh fuck. Well,
yeah, there's like a play that from like several years ago that had the same kind of theme, I guess.
Where
like,
a lady fucks a fish man?
Yeah, I think so. Like something like that. And it's like I've seen a few things reported about it, but it's like obviously not getting a lot of like big time press because
they're trying to bury it probably. Also, but hi, Mermaids, like Splash is an original. All these movies, fucking this exists. Little Mermaid, you guys like.
Yeah, but they had titties, and like half their body was like a woman's body.
No, but I mean in terms of the originality of the idea. Like, people have been fucking fish in stories since the dawn of time.
Shit, there's that video that somebody posted on the Facebook group of that fish coming up and nibbling on the guy's wiener.
I had to take it down.
I know, it was so bad.
Oh, God, what a day that was. I was like, oh!
That was the most controversial day we had on our private Facebook group.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Somebody posted a video of the fish sucking on that dude's peen. It was weird.
I think, was the fish dead? It seemed very odd. All of it was bad.
It just, it's just
like
live
ew,
dick.
That's dick. And then I was like, oh, that's a fish head. Yeah, live boner dick. Yeah. And then, live peen, maybe a live fish, but probably dead.
Maybe it's because, like, fish aren't, like, mammals that people don't think it's, like, that bad. You know what I mean?
Like they're more related to reptiles and less to mammals. So, like, we don't see them. We don't see, like, the human element in them. So, like, people are like, let's fuck it.
Yeah. It's like people are like, this is, like, not that bad a bestiality, you know? Like, I cannot.
Does the guy with the live peen in the fish video, like, do his friends know who he is? Like,
probably.
Is he like a legend in his circle of friends, or are people like, oh yeah, Jim's weird? Like, also he has a drinking problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's more, I think, the speed.
Yeah.
Well, moving on.
What's today's topic?
So today we're talking about, let's get away from talking about weird dudes and talk about weird ladies.
Yeah. Equality.
So today we're talking about a Victorian era lady named Anna Kingsford. Mm-hmm. I don't think that her family was the charcoal family, but I don't know. Is that what that is? No, that's
my God. I knew that name was familiar and I couldn't place it. And I kept calling her something else and I'd Google it, and then this like white lady professor kept coming up.
Like Modern Times?
Yeah. And it was like, see her LinkedIn, and I was like, what? But now,
spoiler alert, she's really still alive because she dabbled in the occult and she's been living forever. No, Anna Kingsford was, I mean, truly, she was in the occult. She was like all up in that, but that's not, she's dead. She's long dead. No, she's this woman who lived during Victorian times in England. She was born Anna Bonus, which cool fucking name.
That is rad.
Bonus time. I don't know.
Here's a bonus for you. She was in the occult. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. She was born in 1846 in Essex, England. She's obviously like, she was born into a wealthy family, so that's why we know about her.
Yeah. Well, also, she became very smart and like did interesting things
because she was allowed to, because she was wealthy.
Yeah. Although, I did find it interesting that the dad. So, like most women born into wealthy families during this time, like you didn't really get an education. Like you did maybe, but like you mostly just like did cotillion stuff.
Yeah, you like learned to read and you learned to sew.
Yeah, but mostly you just like sat in drawing rooms and like on laying couches and fanned yourself and drank a cocktail before dinner.
Sounds tight.
I know. Why isn't that my life?
I mean, being a lady back then would have been like a lady, like a formal lady.
Yeah.
Like would have also been shitty, but like you get to like drink before noon, so.
Yeah, and you got to eat breakfast in your bed. Like someone would bring it to you. That's cool.
Yeah, and somebody would dress you and like brush your hair and stuff for you.
Yeah.
Tight.
Like you had like your personal own like makeup artist and hairdresser every day.
Like a Kardashian. Like
yeah, and
that's the life.
And you got like fucking homemade muffins. Like they were making like real good like pastries and shit for your breakfast. Like a scone, you'd have a real homemade scone. But also,
I don't like scones.
Oh, I like a good scone.
Yeah.
But also, but you had like servants and shit, so that's fucked up.
It's weird, yeah.
So it's bad. Verdict says it's bad.
So yeah, but yeah, you're saying her dad was like kind of just let her do whatever she wanted, like let her pursue whatever educational kind of path she wanted to. Whereas most wealthy families, it would just be like a very narrow idea of education, like for women. They were not encouraged to pursue anything beyond the basics, and then it was like, all right, get married and have kids now. And her father was like, no, if you want to go to med school, go to med school. That's cool. Yeah. If you want to like study, whatever you want to study, go for it. So she was pretty. That was pretty unique.
Yeah, because she was Anna Bonus.
Anna Bonus.
She got to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
She got extra.
Yeah. And I think her dad encouraged her too in like the kind of more intellectual pursuits, and so she like wrote a lot. She was a writer as early as the age of 13. She was like writing like pretty in-depth, high concept shit.
Yeah, she was like a published author, but it wasn't. Well, I like to think of it as like she was like, "Dear Diary." All 13-year-old girls are writers.
Yeah, I was a huge writer.
Were you in a diary? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I tried writing stuff, but then I'd always just rip it up and like throw it away because I didn't want anyone ever to read it.
Oh yeah, I found my diary a while back, and like I had gone through like as a teenager and like ripped out pages that were extra embarrassing. But I had forgotten about it, and like I found my diary again as like an adult, and I was like looking through it, and I was like, there's like pages missing, because I was like, I'd shamed myself so much. I was so self-aware even as like a young person that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But I still was like, had the urge to keep stuff for posterity. I was like, this isn't so bad. I guess this can stay. You know what I mean? It was wild. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I don't think Anna didn't have, the writing that she was doing was like pretty intellectual for a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
She was not talking about her mom being a mean bitch or you know, a hot guy. That was not her style.
No. She was writing what she wrote was called Beatrix, A Tale of Early Christians.
Fuck, I don't even know. Well, she was obviously studying like religion and like but I think this is like a fictionalized kind of like take on what the tenets of Christianity were, and like told through like a young girl's eyes, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really know, but it is very, very mature.
Yeah,
it seems very mature.
The subject matter, while is like fiction, I think is a portrayal of her understanding of learning about religion and early Christianity, which is like a very high concept shit.
Dude, at 13, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, she continues on with a path of like learning about religion, and at this time in like in the Victorian era, there was a lot of weird ideas that were like getting incorporated into traditional, you know, religion, Catholicism, and Christianity. So people were really introducing a lot of like philosophy, science, and like occultism into religion. Like this one woman, Helena Blavatsky, she's a pretty famous occultist, and Anna was a big fan of hers. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about Helena, but a lot of the major occult and religious movements branched off of her original kind of concepts and ideas. Like the mysticism kind of aspect of that sprouted a lot of interesting ideas and inspired Anna to like do a lot of writing on religion and mysticism and all this. So, and also like a lot of big movements, religious movements at this time branched off. Like the Hermetic Order of Golden Dawn was a big one. There's lots of information out there about this stuff. And then Aleister Crowley, who is one of the most well-known like occultists, and he's the founder of sex magic, and he like was a big proponent of like drinking semen and menstrual blood. So yeah, he did some wild shit.
Oh my God.
He was a big fan though of Anna's writing. So she was on Aleister Crowley's radar. Some people even consider Anna one of the like kind of founding thinkers of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Oh. So she was doing some things. She like wrote a lot of very interesting texts around this time that stemmed from the teachings of Helena Blavatsky.
But were they doing it with fish?
Who knows? But one of the major concepts that I think that came from this all of this kind of occultism and mysticism, it's very esoteric kind of shit. They would take a lot of stuff from other religions and kind of incorporate it and see how it kind of fit into what their shit was. But the idea of karma was a big one. And that's going to come into play a little bit later. But that became kind of a big theme in Anna's life later on. So that's kind of like the background of religion for her, and just kind of in general what was happening in Victorian England this time, and America too. Yeah. So this was like the shit back then.
It's very like crafty, like the craft.
It's very, there's so much. So I started to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole with this stuff. Like right hand path magic, left hand path magic, like that all comes from this kind of shit. Like Nazi occultism comes from this shit. Like all kinds of stuff stems from this. Aleister Crowley, if you know anything about Aleister Crowley, that dude is off his fucking shit. But
he's the Nancy. He's the Nancy.
Whoa. Oh yeah, he's the Nancy big time. he is summoning all the things.
Oh God.
Manon. He's summoning Manon.
Manon. Manon.
All the time. All the sharks are washing up on the shore when Aleister Crowley walks down the beach. We're talking about the craft.
Yeah. He can change his hair color all around.
Oh my God.
All right.
I bind you, Aleister.
Did Anna also claim to be like a seer?
Yeah, she was doing all kinds of shit. Like all this stuff like folds into the like occultism, mysticism kind of shit that she was diving into.
Okay.
And when I say esoteric, I mean this shit was it's still really hard to understand all of it because like the concepts of what they were incorporating into their writings and their, you know, when you have religion, science, and occultism and philosophy all kind of like combining, it gets trippy. It's kind of hard to follow. So I stopped. I was like, I can't. This is a lot.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't even, I'm glad that you kind of went down that rabbit hole, because I just did mostly research on her, like, as a person. It wasn't that exciting, but this makes it way more exciting, so.
Yeah, there's a little flavor.
Yeah.
Sprinkled on there. Like, she's a pretty normal English white lady, but then, you know, when you have Aleister Crowley liking you, you're doing some things.
So, yeah, you're doing something weird.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so this is like from 13 to her early 20s. She's like getting involved in all this shit. And then I don't think she was like super into the dating scene.
No.
So she marries her cousin. That's when she becomes Kingsford. She married her cousin, Algernon Godfrey Kingsford.
Cool. Of the Charcoal family. No, I'm just kidding. No.
And she became the heiress to the Charcoal Empire.
Yeah.
And the story's over because then she died. No. And they had a daughter. And then I just was like really interested in this because they were first cousins. And the daughter, I guess, was pretty normal because I didn't read anything about her. But I was, you know, you always expect something weird.
Yeah. Well, that's only if you have like major genetic shit already there. But if everything's cool, then should be fine. But you can mutate a few genes while you're at it, I guess. They got lucky. They got real lucky. Is what it is.
Your laugh was funny. And then they I don't think they had much in common, and I think later on they became like celibate. She had health issues since she was a kid. She was
very sickly,
Yeah, and then having a baby just like really took a toll on her. But their love language was Christianity in some ways. Cuz she was just a dabbler. So she loved all this stuff, and I think he was an Anglican priest, but then shortly after their marriage, she converted to Catholicism.
Whoa, that's pretty scandalous, actually, for then.
Yeah, it's scandalous for then, and also like doesn't really seem in the mix with like all the other shit she was doing.
Well, Catholicism has a lot of like ritualistic stuff attached to it, I think, and at the time it was probably a lot easier for like a cult kind of leanings to get in there.
Yeah.
So, like, when she converts to Catholicism, I think it's, like, probably a brand of Catholicism that is, like, a little bit more based on ritualistic stuff and who knows what else, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But the fact, though, that her cousin husband was a was a priest, like an Anglican priest, and they, like, didn't... It's definitely a marriage of convenience, and he at some point was just like, do whatever the fuck you want, is what it sounds like.
Dude, well, it was a marriage of convenience because eventually, so yeah, they were like partners in life, and they had this marriage that was like they agreed to just like be partners, I think.
Yeah.
Because then she met this guy, and had what I would call an emotional affair with him. And his name was Edward Maitland. And she eventually wanted to like study medicine, but you're not allowed to do that as a woman during this time. And he would accompany her to like her studies in Paris. So
like you had to have a chaperone to study anything to go to school.
Yeah. Well, also too,
or like
I think,
a patron of some sort.
Oh, I'm not sure exactly, but
yeah.
But I think also just like making the trek as a young 20-something woman to Paris every week or whatever, like a couple times a month for your like education, you probably weren't allowed to really travel like that as a woman by yourself. So
yeah, that's pretty far.
Yeah, but that's weird. It's like if some other dude was like, "Hey, like I don't know, they became very close." Eventually.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was going on, but it seems scandalous.
Yeah, it's a very weird relationship that she had with her cousin husband and this dude. Maitland. Yeah.
Her patron Maitland.
Yeah, her patron Maitland.
And her cousin husband.
Yeah. But yeah, she stayed with her cousin husband.
Till she died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a daughter together, but whatever. Like that matters.
They had a second cousin / daughter together.
A second cousin not removed.
A second cousin removed from her uterus.
Yeah. Like 0 times removed. I don't know. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, cousin husband. Well,
I don't know why that's so funny
I don't
to
either.
me. Okay, let's go.
So she's pretty ahead of her time. Like she believes very strongly in her ability to be able to just kind of do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
And that comes along like when you're born into wealth, like it helps it helps you to do the things that you want to do, even if you are a woman and there's a lot of barriers. She figured out ways around them because she had this like privilege. So, so she decided she wanted to go to med school and she like figured out a way to make that happen. She also like bought a paper, like a publication called The Lady's Own Paper, and became the editor, which is tight.
Yeah, and she had to have money to do that. From her dad. So
yeah, so she was able to do all this stuff. You know, she's born into wealth, so that always helps. But yeah, because she wanted to be a doctor, and England didn't allow women to study medicine. She got Maitland to kind of accompany her and I guess observe. Like, I don't know that she was like enrolled in any formal way, but like she was able to like kind of participate in some way.
In Paris. Yeah. She enrolled in a school there because she eventually graduated, I think in like 1880 or something. So,
okay.
So she was a student. But also she mostly observed because she was like a vegetarian, which was weird at the time.
Yeah.
Like not common at all.
Especially for wealthy people, like by choice. Like because when you're wealthy, you can't afford to have meat and like whatever kind of food you want. Yeah. Like people were vegetarian not by choice because they literally couldn't afford meat.
Isn't this like, this is probably when gout was rampant because all the rich people did was eat meat. Like there was no vegetables in their diet. So
no, yeah. They had salad. Like salad was like a thing. But like no, I'm serious.
Okay.
That like salads were like a thing, but like not in like the fancy way we think of them. Like any kind of green was like a salad, I guess. So but yeah, she was by choice a vegetarian. She cared a lot about animals and like living things. And it was very evident when she was going to med school that she was very passionate about about the welfare of animals, which is also like a very strange thing for the time, because I think a lot of people just assumed, like in general, not everybody, but like common thought was that like animals didn't have feelings like we think of them now. It's just like really primitive ways of thinking about animals, like they're beasts and they're, this circle of life kind of thing was just kind of insensitive. And she was like, no, this is a living thing and it has feelings, and it's horrifying that you would, because what they would do in med school is they would cut up living things as they were still alive, like not dead, to see what like would happen, basically.
Yeah.
Like
what
kind
is
of
that
all
called?
Like vivisection.
Vivisection, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They'd like experiment on animals while they were still alive, so they would know what's happening.
Yeah. And I mean, we still do this to this day with like animal testing with like products and like medicinal reasons. Like there's like, we pay tax dollars to have different studies done on animals, which is fucked up, but that's true.
Yeah.
But this is like beyond this. What they used to do.
Torture. This
it's
is
torture.
Like, they would like skin animals while they were alive just to like see how they reacted and shit. It's like nothing's gonna like being skinned alive.
Yeah.
I think I can make that assumption. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing some fucked up stuff. So she was observing this though and was like,
yeah.
Holy fuck, this is awful. Like, please, let's not do this. And there's one professor in particular that she really hated, who is just like kind of ruthless about it.
Yeah.
And was
like a braggart.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like, yeah. And he was just like, shut up, you silly woman. And this is how it is. And like, he just was very dismissive of her. And she fucking hated him. Mm-hmm. His name was Dr. Claude Bernard. And he was like always doing some sort of experiment. And at one point he was doing a lecture in the like theater. And she like jumped up and like started berating him and called him a murderer and was just like going off on him. So yeah, she was like very passionately hating this man. And, yeah, she thought that he should die.
Yeah. Yeah. I used a Kill Bill analogy where it's like, this was her moment where she like wrote the list.
Yeah.
Of all the people. She's just like, oh fuck, I know what's happening. This man needs to die.
Yeah. So, I mean, he died.
And not just like, oh yeah, like then 20 years later at the age of 80, he died in his sleep. It's like 6 weeks later.
Yeah. Well, after this like whole outburst, like she was like really activated and pissed off about it.
Yeah.
About him, even more than ever before. And she was like, this motherfucker needs to go. Like, how can this person exist on this earth? He's like evil. And 6 weeks later he died. So, and she supposedly wrote a letter to Maitland, her patron Maitland, where she was like talking about this incident, and she said, woe be to the torturers. I will make it dangerous, nay deadly, to be a vivisector. It is the only argument that will affect them. Meanwhile, thank God the head of the gang is dead, in reference to Dr. Bernard.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
She, like, maybe killed him?
Maybe.
With, like, her mental powers?
Yeah, so people think that she psychically struck this dude down because she was, like we said, she's all into the occult. She's, like, all into this shit.
She's like, Agamemnon or whatever. Manon.
Agamemnon. Yeah, she's summoning Manon, and she's, like, pissed off. So maybe psychically she's like feeling real upset and somehow channeled that into this guy dying. Yeah. Now there's another dude in this like whole gang of vivisectors that she hated. His name is Paul Burt.
Oh hell no.
but he died kind of slowly. So who knows? But this dude was a object of her ire, just like Dr. Bernard was.
Yeah. He was the bud of the Kill Bill.
The bud. Yeah.
I don't know. Who are the other ones? Oh, Ren Ishii.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he died. He was like in a lot of pain. He died. I don't know. And then a third dude that she had on her list was so it's Dr. Bernard died, Dr. Bert died, and then the third dude, Louis Pasteur. Like,
we know him.
He invented pasteurization. Like, he's the reason I can eat brie cheese while I'm pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, because like soft cheeses are usually made with like non-pasteurized milk.
Yeah.
But
you can buy pasteurized brie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Thank you,
gentleman.
Merci, Louis Pasteur. But he was also doing some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Apparently.
He was vivisecting also.
Yeah. He was a vivisectionist.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
He was leading the vivisectomy of the animals. Yeah. But everybody was. I mean.
Yeah. This was the time. Yeah.
Even though by today's standards, we'd be like, duh, she's smart. Everyone else was wrong. She was the one that was like empathetic towards animals. She was like emotionally intelligent. But really everyone was doing it then. So she was a weirdo.
Exactly. So yeah, and plus like she had all this weird like occult background shit. So people were like suspicious. But so she's on her way to go kill Bill, aka Louis Pasteur. Like he's the Bill in this story. I think he's like the big guy.
Yeah, he's the snake charmer.
The big boss, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the big boss at the end of a video game. He's the one you have to kill.
Yeah, so she's like goes to do that. So just like real quick to talk about her like whole karmic retribution kind of channeling of like energy and power or whatever the fuck that either people thought she was doing or maybe she thought she was doing. Like, so she believed that if she mustered her like psychic power and invoked God or Manon or whatever,
I don't know why that's so funny.
She could turn that karma onto the person that she was like hating. Anyone that was like being an asshole, she was like, karma needs to come to this person, and she could like focus that like energy. And I don't know if she called it her thunderbolt, but like it's referred to as like the karmic thunderbolt basically that she would summon to like, but this is all hearsay. I don't know that she like specifically said this, but that was like kind of she was like manifesting these like powerful emotions and feelings to these people that she hated.
It was like an ethereal Hattori Hanzo sword.
Yeah, exactly. She was smiting people.
Oh God.
But yeah. So that real quick, that was like her method of killing, I guess.
Yeah. But you know what? She was not the Beatrix Kiddo we all thought she was.
Yeah.
When we started this Kill Bill analogy, she was the L driver.
Yeah.
Because she was like not doing things right. She was on her way to Louis Pasteur's laboratory. It was like pouring rain. She got pneumonia and then she slowly died. So
yeah, I think she like always probably had a touch of TB.
Good. She was like TB-ish.
TB-esque. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuberculosis-esque.
Yeah.
And then she like got pneumonia and she died.
Yeah, like a year later. And she never killed him. So
well, she was real sick for so long, and then but you know, that karma.
Oh. That
karma coming back around, and when you're like intentionally like, I'm gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
You don't know. If you truly are messing with magic, like that is some shit that you do not want to fuck with. Like, I believe in some of the like higher concept, you know, the mind is a powerful thing, and I don't know, maybe she was fucking with the wrong energy, so she caught some karma.
I mean, we all know how Nancy ended up in the craft at the end.
Yeah. Somebody was out there binding her from doing harm to others and to herself.
Yeah.
I bind you from doing harm to others and to yourself. Yeah, she was well, she got real sick and she died a year later after she had set out to like kill Louis Pasteur. It's pretty wild.
What's wild is, this, I mean, all these movie analogies, some of them were spot on, some weren't.
No.
Everyone was the Nancy at one point.
Yeah.
We don't know who the Beatrix Kiddo was of this story. But you know what? This lady was doing it wrong, and she got paid back by the universe.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she was doing it right for a while, but there was maybe something... another more powerful force out there who is like, bitch, you need to sit down. I don't know.
Agamemnon's like,
Agamemnon.
What's that from?
Agamemnon was like the king of whatchamacallit, Troy?
Oh, yeah.
Greece? I don't know.
Okay.
It's from the movie Troy with Brad Pitt.
Did someone used to order food at Rubio's with the name Agamemnon?
That was our friend Garrett.
Yeah.
Agamemnon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, what is that in my head from?
Yeah. I love that name, Agamemnon. I think that's a top contender for baby name.
Ooh, Agamemnon Saul.
Aggie for short.
Oh, that's cute, I think.
I think so, too.
Right.
But no, that's too big.
Manon.
Manon. A made-up Satan-esque figure, I guess.
All right.
But yeah.
What are our final thoughts?
I think the reality of this is that like she was like a very, very cool woman, and at the time probably very controversial, and people were probably like, "What the fuck?" And maybe we're like, "She's weird," but maybe wasn't that weird for our standards today. And as it turns out, the Maitland dude, her buddy, exaggerated a lot of the stuff that she said. And he also burned all the papers, manuscripts, diaries, and letters that Anna Kingsford bequeathed to him when he finished writing the biography of her, to kind of make it impossible for anyone to cross-reference any of the quotations or accounts. So... who knows?
Something smells fishy.
Yeah, something stanky.
And it's not that guy's dick from the Facebook video.
And it's not the fish man's dick from The Shape of Water. Oh my god. Yeah, but Maitland ends up being a kind of a dick because he is just like this. Speaking of dick, this guy was one.
He was like a hidden dick, like in
like
the Shape of Water, where it's like bloop.
I was like, is this like a Swiss Army knife reference? Like, what's happening? I mean, kind of, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if he has.
Yeah, it's
I wonder if he has like. I wonder if he has like different types of dicks that can pop down. You know. Like here's.
Like depending on what he's having sex with.
Yeah.
Here's the one for the vagina.
Here's the one for human vagina. Here's one for dolphin vagina. I don't know.
Here's one for a lobster vagina.
Yeah. Well, anyway, back to Maitland. He was an asshole, and he wanted to tarnish her legacy because she was like doing better than him in life. Like all of her writings and like all of her ideas were like way more like awesome than any of his ever were. So he was like totally overshadowed by her accomplishments and was just like, I don't know, trying to get back at her or something. Who knows? Who knows what the real truth is? Because he burned all that shit that she wrote. I mean, there's still obviously published works of hers out in the world, and they've been very influential to a lot of people. But like the personal correspondence to like verify a lot of like what she may have or may not have said, maybe in reference even to her, desire for these men to die, or her the idea that she might have like karmically, psychically killed these men. I don't know.
Ugh.
That's not verified. So who's to say? But she did not kill these dudes with her bare hands. No. And if she did somehow karmically do it, the real truth of the matter is that this Bert dude, the Dr. Bert dude, he died of dysentery in Hanoi. He didn't just like suddenly come down with some weird thing.
Yeah, and it was like years later, right?
It was like years later.
Yeah.
And, but he just got sick from dysentery in Hanoi. But why did he get sick from dysentery in Hanoi? Was it because she like cursed his ass or something? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like she would claim she did, but it's all up to us to decide.
Yeah, and then the Bernard guy, he, the one that the first dude that died, he'd been really sick for a long time. Like, he was an older man. Like, everybody was, like, probably walking around with cancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And untreatable diseases that we can treat now, obviously. But he was walking around in ill health for, like, 17 years. Oh. And so he was sick for a long time. Gradually, like, started getting sicker. However, it is kind of, like, a interesting coincidence that like a week after she like had this outburst, he like really got sick, and
and they didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
but they didn't know what anything was. So
they didn't know what anything was. But what ended up actually killing him, he went down. The disease that killed him was his pancreas and liver like went out. So it wasn't cancer. It was just like those two organs totally. But he was always in ill health, and those were the organs that he spent his entire career studying. So it was pretty ironic that that's what he died from.
Karma.
So karma.
It works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, but who's to say if she was the one that directed that karmic thunderbolt strike? I don't know. You can make your own conclusions, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd like to believe that she did. But
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well,
any like evil implication was overblown by this Maitland guy who was a total dickbag.
Yeah. He just like wanted all the attention and wanted to destroy all her shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for her.
Well, now no one knows who he is, and people talk about her, so he
can
fuck right off.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, interesting.
Very interesting. I would like to learn more about her, I think, and more about the whole esoteric occultism and all that shit. It's all very interesting.
I think there's a biography on her, like a full-size book, which we didn't have time to read, obviously. But if you're interested, or if anyone listening is interested, you can Google it and check it out.
Yeah. That's all I got about Anna Kingsford.
Yeah, same. Follow us on social medias.
Yeah, at DTFU Podcast everywhere. Mm-hmm. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Also, we have a Patreon, which we talked about. You can check that out, DTFU Podcast.
Yep.
And also, we are on all of your favorite podcast listening apps, with the exception of SoundCloud, which isn't updating. They want us to pay for it. We don't want to.
We used to like do all of our hosting on SoundCloud, but now we don't. So, but there's so many platforms. All the podcatchers have us. Podbean, Stitcher,
Overcast,
all the things. We're on Google Play. We're on Spotify now. So
we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. So we're on all the things. So all right.
I think that's
Pretty
it.
Good. Yeah.
All right, guys. Don't summon Manon, or do, I don't know. Don't kill anybody psychically with your occult powers.
Don't fuck with fish sticks.
Don't fuck with fish sticks, or do, you know, I know there's a dildo out there now of the shape of water.
What?
I'm sure there is.
Oh my god. We gotta look at it.
If they made a fucking childo for what was that goddamn stupid show or movie?
A childo?
Yeah, like a cold dildo.
What?
Oh god damn it. What's that dumb movie with Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson?
Oh,
you know
Twilight?
Twilight, yeah.
His dick was cold?
Yeah, he's a vampire.
What?
He's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, but oh god, why?
I don't know, childo.
It's
Look it up.
cold and you keep it in your freezer?
Yeah. Some people won't.
What if like your friends come over and they're like, "Hey, I brought some ice cream. Can I just put it in the freezer?" You're like, "No."
Hey, look. If you're comfortable with that kind of thing and your friends are cool, who cares? You know?
Yeah, I guess I would get a mini fridge and I'd put it in my room.
No, I'd put that shit in some Tupperware and put some foil around it. Nobody'll know.
Oh, what leftovers are these? It looks like a dildo under there.
No. It's just a pork roll. I don't know.
You use it to pork yourself. That's sure.
It's just leftover sausage.
It's a bunch of hot dogs stuck end to end.
It's so long and skinny. That's weird.
I wonder if Robert Pattinson has a long, skinny dick.
I can see it. In my mind's eye, yeah.
A childo. Oh my god. What fun.
Oh
all right.
God.
In your mind's eye. Get it out of there.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
All right, guys. On that note, be excellent to each other.
Bye.
Bye-bye.